you from the police. All right, so like it. Only Brotherhood will protect you from the police. I like
I was gonna say it won't.
All right, we live, so hold on. Let me check and make sure it's actually working this time. Check and make sure it's actually working. All right, YouTube's working. Let me check Facebook.
That's good.
Facebook's good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, mine's just saying that Facebook's not good. Okay, there we go. Now I see it. All right, Salaki. Shalom Yahaba Shem Yahushai Barakathum to all the brothers. Shalom Yahweh Shamar Ilathub Bahashim Yahushai to all the sisters. This is the ISUPK Las Vegas. Salakia, we was having some technical difficulties. Restream, maybe on some other stuff, to try to blue screen us and whatnot. But we smoothed it out. We back on live. While I was being blue screened though, before we had realized it, we was just talking about the Passover and how glorious that was this past weekend out there in Houston, Texas. You understand? It was a beautiful time where, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans were able to come together and, pour up some drink and have absolutely no issues. You understand? And that in itself is a beautiful thing. And considering the fact that today is a Tuesday Brotherhood class, from what I had saw, and mind you as well, this is my first Passover that I had went to this past weekend. What I had saw the entire weekend, not just one particular day, particular moment. You know what I'm saying? Like the entire weekend was, it was the spirit of brotherhood through and through, the spirit of Christ. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was supposed to, that's how it was supposed to be especially during the Passover. You understand? And it was just it was a glorious thing to be a part of. Make sure that you watching the YouTube. I'll watch the Facebook. All right, I'll go ahead and so like it, if I may. If there's any questions online, go ahead and type them in, and I'll get to them. But in the meantime, if I may, make sure that you like and share the video, like I am myself. So we got to do our part to spread out this word to the four corners of the earth. You understand? So while we do that, I'm gonna have the trooper also, unless you have any questions, but pull up that article about the Virginia police Mason and trying to arrest that that lieutenant in the army that was a brother.
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay, yeah, no sweat. Just make sure that you have that ready to go. We'll get on your question in a second. We'll get your question first, and that gives them online some time to come up with theirs. Tap them in. All right. You said you had a question.
Mm-hmm.
What was your question?
So in the book of Genesis, chapter 15, verse 13.
Make sure you speak up.
The book of Genesis, chapter 15, verse 13.
15 and 13? Okay.
It says, and he said unto Abram, Know of a surety that thy seed shall bring a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. So what I'm asking is that talking about the slavery that's going on in Egypt or in America, or is that?
Okay, so from what I was told, because I had that question before, I do need to retouch base. Sloppy. I need to retouch base with that question. That is a good question. The 400 years, if I do remember correctly, now mind you, I'm gonna get the answer just for clarification. But if I do remember correctly, that is a prophecy going for Egypt. Now, it might be able to be applied to America as well, considering the fact that America is also a spiritual Egypt. But I believe this is only talking about Egypt. I believe, but it could be both, and I'll get further clarification on that. You understand? Did you have any other questions? That was it. You got anything on YouTube? All right, no sweat. Okay. So did you get that article pulled for me like I asked? All right, go ahead and read that article about that brother. Okay. So like you, before you go into that, I almost forgot to mention. So mind you, I had just spoke about, us having the Passover and whatnot. Currently, right now, we are in the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Part of that feast, what you are supposed to do is before the feast even begins, before even Passover begins, you're supposed to clear out all the leavened bread in your house, in the place of which you dwell, and for basically 7 days, after the Passover, you're supposed to consume, eat some leavened bread, or eat some unleavened bread every day. Now, mind you, just so that y'all know, you don't have to only eat unleavened bread, or just get full on unleavened bread. Just make sure when you go get a taco, or some tortilla chips, or just any type of unleavened bread that you get, just make sure that you have some with at least a meal during that day. You understand? So yeah, and the closing will be on Saturday on sundown, and then of course we can go back to eating our leavened bread. But yeah, go ahead and read that article when you got it, Baba Kashai.
Khan. The Army officer pepper sprayed during Virginia traffic stop.
Make sure you speak up.
Speaks publicly about the incident. The Army officer involved in the controversial traffic stop in Virginia is speaking publicly about his experience with the encounter, first time since the encounter. This has truly been a challenging experience and also a life-changing experience, not just for me, but for my family, and said U.S. Army Second Lieutenant Karen Nazario. The traffic stop happened back in December, but gained national interest this month after video surfaced and then went viral. Officer Daniel Crocker initiated the traffic stop after saying he didn't see a visible rear license plate on Nazario's SUV, a temporary tag displayed in a tinted rear window. Crocker classified the stop as high risk after Nazario, who is Black and Latino and was wearing his service uniform, didn't immediately pull over.
Wow. Now, mind you, I knew that, the brother was a so-called Negro, but I didn't know he was, Black and Latino. So, I mean, he had it coming, no matter what. Now, mind you as well, like, this was a traffic stop. And if y'all haven't seen the video, y'all should look it up. Just punch in Virginia police stops military, and you'll find it. The way that the police had went about that entire situation, even before he got pepper sprayed, Like it was just terrible. And I say it's terrible because these police off the rip. Now read it again exactly why they pulled him over in the first place.
He initiated the traffic stop after saying he didn't see a visible rear license plate on Nazario's SUV.
So it's because the initial reason was because they didn't see a visible license plate. Now, now this is kind of a rhetorical question, but at the same time, if someone can answer this, I'd love to hear it. At what point do you get out of your vehicle as a law enforcement with your guns drawn? How is that? When is that a necessary time for that to be, the way that you exit your vehicle is immediately taking out your weapons to point your weapon at, whatever this, whomever the suspect is. Yes, I'm saying.
You mean like when is it okay according to the white man?
No, I'm asking as a person talking to another person, as a human being dealing with another human being, because mind you, we'll get on. It's obviously clear when a so-called white man finds it when he finds it necessary for him to draw a weapon, right? Because it's and that's basically as soon as he sees a Black, Hispanic, or Native American man, his weapon's coming out. You understand? We already know that because we see it time and time again, over and over and over. That's how they treat us. Is that we are just a walking flesh of weaponry. Don't even have to be armed. But we still a weapon. You understand? Anything in our hands, whether it's a cell phone, a bag of Skittles, what have you, is, oh, I thought he had a weapon. I thought he had a gun. Don't even have to have a weapon. And they feel threatened. So from a human being to another human being, make sure you watch YouTube because maybe somebody can give me the answer on that. When it actually is necessary to exit your vehicle when you're dealing with somebody with your weapon already drawn. When is that actually a necessary time to exit the vehicle? Am I making that question clear? I feel like I'm messing it up. Do you understand what I'm asking?
Ask it. Say it again.
When is it okay or necessary to as a law enforcement officer to exit your vehicle, or when should it be necessary for a law enforcement officer to exit his vehicle with his weapon drawn? Where that's as he's getting out, he's drawing his weapon. When is that necessary? Go ahead.
I don't know when there's a definite threat.
When it's a definite threat. So again, from your question, that already lets you know how they feel about Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans just off the rip. That we are a definite threat. It don't matter if you have a weapon. You could be butt naked. Not a doggone rock for a whole mile near you. And you are a threat. You are a definite threat. You can be walking backwards towards the cop with your hands in the air. Now, mind you, I'm not just making up a scenario. These are scenarios that have actually happened to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and recently at that, where you can be walking towards the police officer with your hands in the air and still get shot and killed. Because when is it necessary to have your gun out in the first place?
When it's a definite threat.
Because that police officer felt like she was in a situation where she was threatened. He was threatened. And this is what we dealing with. You understand? These are the people that we are, and when I say we, I say Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, that we are fighting to try to have some sort of love and compassion for, like, from, these people that keep on killing us, treating us the way that they do, viewing us. They're making it known the way that how they view us as a what again?
A definite threat.
Don't even matter if you have nothing. You can have kids in the back. Tell them how, that you moving to do whatever, however, and you're a
Definite threat.
it don't matter. You understand? And of course, the theme or the topic of today's class is, as the title says, is that, our brotherhood is the only way that we can protect ourselves from the police. You understand? And part of that brotherhood is us policing ourselves. And our guidelines to policing ourselves is right here in this book. You understand? These laws, statutes, and commandments, you understand? That's how you learn to even be a judge in the first place, to learn how to judge and deal with a brother. You understand? Commander General Yohana, you understand? He was put in the position that he's in because he has that type of wisdom to appoint other brothers underneath him to handle these situations in a how I want to put it, on a larger scale, so that basically, we're not in we're not on the therapy line like the white man has got, where you can call today, but the first appointment that you can get is 18 months from now. You understand? In the Bible, we do everything expediently. You understand? There has to be some sort of judgment. There needs to be some sort of counsel. You're not going to be necessary. You ain't going to be sitting there waiting around for months and years so that you can get help. You're not going to be waiting around until the point where, it's too late to even receive the help, because you end up killing yourself or killing somebody else. You understand? You're not going to be waiting until there's a point of no return. And part of that reason is because the ISUPK, under Commander General Yohana, we have brotherhood. And part of brotherhood is loving your brother and your sister the way that, the same way that you love yourself. And when you have love for yourself, as soon as you feel like, what, I need to go get help, you realize that you go get that help. So when a brother or a sister comes to you and says, hey, I need help, just as fast as they came to you, from your knowledge, you need to go to them just as fast. And to your knowledge is that very moment that they came to you, I need help. At that very moment, you need to start putting in that work to get them that help. If it's you yourself, then you know what? You do it yourself. As an officer and above, that is what I'm saying, in ISUPK. One of them themselves will help you right then and there. If they're not going to help them, it's only because they say, you know what? I'm going to get a brother that is more qualified than myself, who can help you better than I can, and set you up with them so that you can get the help that you need. You understand? That's part of our brotherhood. Because the longer that we negate the brotherhood, the longer that we negate and neglect each other of the love that we're supposed to have for one another, the longer we're just going to keep on being killed in these streets by the police. Because mind you, if the police never have to if the police are never put in a position to respond to a Black, Hispanic, or Native American being in any type of situation, what have you, how many deaths do you think there's going to be of the cops killing us? There's going to be none, because we're already policing ourselves. You understand? Commander General Yohana has said that this past was it Monday or maybe this past weekend, but he basically said that if Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans were able to police themselves, to 100%, the crime rates would completely fall off. No, the police would start having to get laid off because now there's nothing for them to do. Because we're policing ourselves, we're checking our brother. Hey, man, put that dope away, whether they're selling it or consuming it. Man, put that shit away, bro. Like, that's killing you. And that's against, that goes against our law. That goes against the Most High. You understand? Now, no longer do we have a target, no longer are we putting a target on ourselves. Because mind you, that target will always be there. But now, because we're policing ourselves, we're basically, sharpening up our brothers and sisters so that when they do shoot us down, when they do kill us, essentially they kill us just like how they kill Yahweh Shai Mashiach, our King, or Jesus Christ. Killing an innocent man, killing an innocent sister. And there is no, they had a drug history, or they did this then and did this. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, this brother, this sister doesn't do any of that. And you killed them. And innocent blood is on your hands. Y'all understand where I'm getting with that? Did you have something, sis? Okay, no sweat. Go ahead and keep reading that article.
Crocker said Nazario was eluding police, and his SUV's window tint prevented officers from seeing inside. Nazario later told officers he wanted to pull over in a well-lit area.
Now, mind you, I want y'all to keep in mind that this, again, in the beginning of this article, said that this is a Black and a Latino brother, right? So with that being said, from what we just read, this brother knows what is going on. He is aware that even though he's got his uniform on, I believe he's in the United States Army, correct? Or was he in the chair of the Air Force?
Army.
Okay, so he's in the United States Army. And he was in his uniform. His AC, or I believe they call them Scorpions now. The Scorpion uniforms. I believe that's what that got phased in like right after I got out. He's in his uniforms and still, first thing that came to his mind was, I'm a Black and a Latino brother. I need to make sure that I put myself in a position where there is absolutely no mistakes could be made, where they can see any and every movement I make when I finally do pull over and I roll down my window. There is no mistake of me having a gun. I might have a hairbrush. I seen it I can't remember what movie I had watched. I believe it was on Netflix, where the brother had a he had a hairbrush in his head and he started brushing his hair, and the cop immediately just, steps to the side and lights up the vehicle. I believe it was just a story, but still, that's not far fetched from the brother who got killed because he has Skittles, or recently, very recently, the brother who got killed because the police officer thought, or sheriff, whatever, deputy, whatever he was, shot him because he thought the phone in his hand when he was calling 911. As a matter of fact, pull that article up in a second, is in another tab, but where he gets shot and killed by the police while he's on the phone with 911. And gets, the phone gets mistaken as a gun. So this brother knew one way that he could protect himself was to be in a well-lit area, because even though that these police officers who carry guns their entire shift every day, I'm pretty sure they work 5 days a week, right? I'm pretty sure they go to the range at least once a week and shoot more than just what their sidearm is, whether it's a 9mm, a 45, what have you. They're probably shooting some assault rifles. some doggone shotguns and whatnot. So they know what a weapon looks like, sounds like, feels like, the whole get down, right? They should be able to identify a weapon, right? But still find a way to mistake anything and everything for a gun. And the crazy part is we talked about it in a couple classes before about how that white boy out there in Wisconsin, that minor, walking around during the riots, walking around with that AR. I mean, numerous police walked by him, drove by him, and he ended up shooting two protesters dead. I mean, what did they think he had strapped on him? In the middle of a riot, mind you. There are riots going on. People's shops getting burnt and burnt down and broken into, things being stolen. Supposedly, that's what the media was trying to push, and also trying to push it on, that it was so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, even though that we caught on video, majority of them was, so-called white men or oppressors. When that little white boy was walking down the street with, his AR-15 slung around his shoulder, what did they think that was? A laptop? They think it was a book bag? Nah, he was bringing one of these floodlights to one of our classes. That's what it was. Y'all see how ridiculous that is? How he can have a full-on weapon. A white minor can have a full-on weapon, and we'll give the police the benefit of the doubt. They mistook the weapon for something else. Hold on, I got her first. They can mistake that weapon for something else. But when it's a white boy, when it's an oppressor, when it's someone other than the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, but let it be somebody outside, let it be a black, Hispanic, Native American, and anything and everything is a gun. Now you said again that it would. When is the only time that the first, your first instinct to whip out your weapon as a law enforcement?
When it's a definite threat.
When it's a definite threat. They know that they dealing with a definite threat. Skittles, cell phone. I mean, shit. What else? A 12-year-old boy, Tamir Rice, with a toy gun. Come on, sis, you had something?
I was gonna say they know what that was. They just know what time it is. They don't care about when people of their own go around acting like terrorists.
Now, what you said is heavy, because take what the both of y'all had just said so far with his definite threat comment, and then also what you had just said. They don't see him as a definite threat. But the twisted part is, and when I say twisted, I mean left is right and right is left. Is that twisted? That the actual definite threat, you good. Because what did he end up doing? Shooting two innocent protesters. But then the brother with some Skittles, what did he do? I mean, what? He tasted the rainbow before he got killed? Like, y'all see that? Hold that, because he did have his. You was trying to add on to that?
What you just said.
Okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say what the guy with the Skittles did is live and breathe. That's the messed up part about all.
No, he was black, Hispanic, Native American. He was an Israelite. That's what it all comes down to. True, but you had something.
I was going to say that the kid in Wisconsin, he was literally like not even that far. There are pictures and evidence of him being like alongside of police officers.
Man.
The AR, like, in his hand, like see him holding it.
And nobody sees an issue with that. When you take that grand picture, like, see, something that I kind of learned when I was in high school, and I used to say, was that you should never look at just the man in the picture, but the picture with the man in it. You understand? And that scenario right there you can basically take, that white boy and then take any other so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native American that just got shot dead for, an identification of weaponry mistake. We'll say that. You understand? Put the stories both together and don't look at just the stories by themselves. But look at the whole picture with those stories. You understand what I'm saying? There's a story in every picture. Every picture. It don't matter if you just put, the sun in the corner. Don't know why any of our goofy asses did that in elementary school, even though the sun be in the middle of the sky. But you got the sun in the corner and your V birds, and you got a big old apple tree and this, that. There's a story to that. There's some sort of story because there was a thought process that went behind that. You understand? And so it's still the same thing if there is no actual pictures, because those words still do paint you a picture. And with that picture, what those words end up painting for you is that nobody loves Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in this world. You understand? And that's exactly why y'all need to come into the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana and get in class. You understand? Learn who you really are. You understand? Because this is the only place, especially in this world that we live in this white man world, or the oppressor's world, where you can actually receive love. No matter how much you love everybody else, you are a what?
Definite threat.
You just a definite threat. I mean, how many of y'all actually have a love for a definite threat? For some reason, I don't know what's been going on with my Instagram, my YouTube, and my Facebook. I've been getting a lot of videos of, crocodile attacks and stuff like that. I've been seeing them eat, people's dogs and all over, all other sorts of stuff. So lucky. So with that being said, I mean, yeah, that's a cool animal. Don't get me wrong. But for those of y'all that have your favorite animal is the crocodile, your goofy ass gonna go over there and, hey, Mr. Croc, let's be friends. Let me go swimming. Let's go swimming together. You really gonna do that? But that's literally what you're doing by loving these other nations, by jumping in their ponds that is infested with them. They waiting to consume you. They want to consume you. They want you dead. They want you eaten alive. You understand? That's why we have stories like this. Go ahead. You have that the second one in the second tab, correct?
Okay.
All right, yeah. Go ahead and finish up with the Virginia brother.
By the time Nazario stopped into a BP gas station, a second officer, Joe Gutierrez, had also arrived on his cruise behind Crocker. Both Crocker and Gutierrez proceeded to get out of their cars, draw their guns, and yell for Nazario to put his hands out the window and get out of the car. When Nazario did not immediately comply with orders, Gutierrez approached Nazario's open driver's side window and dispensed OC spray multiple times into Nazario's face.
Which that spray is pepper spray. You understand? Now, I got a scripture for y'all just real quick. All right? So mind you, again, like I said, pull the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 31. I got something to bring out. Because mind you, this brother was in uniform at the time all this happened. And if you're watching the video, they told the brother to put his hands out the window while he was still in his vehicle. You understand? And then they wanted him to open the door from the outside and get out. So with that being said, when he's got his hands out the window, you can see his sleeves. And like I said before, he was in his military uniform. So the police were able to identify that he was in the military, United States Army uniform. Then on top of that, the second policeman, I don't care for you to reread his name, when he showed up on the scene as backup, he approached the driver's side door before he pepper sprayed him, mind you, as well. And they both had their guns drawn as well. Just so y'all know, pointing it at this brother, whom of which also he's fearing for his life. I mean, hell, he just who knows if he actually deployed, but either way, like he on home turf, on the American soil. If he actually did deploy, he just got done. He just spent time, fighting for, as all these Americans believe, when we go to Afghanistan, we fighting for freedom in America. I was in Afghanistan. That's when I lost all my motivation. It was after all that, because then I realized, man, we ain't fighting for our doggone our freedom. Really, the main fight that we even having over there is because they want us out. But anyways, no matter what, either way, they didn't see nothing but a nigga. You understand? And if his father is Latino, then just another wetback. That's all they saw. That's all they saw. You got Proverbs 3:31.
Come on, time.
All right, go ahead.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
Envy thou not thou oppressor. One reason why you should not envy your oppressor is because, I kind of sidetracked in my head for a second. The reason why you shouldn't envy your oppressor, because the things that he has, the things that he's doing, the things that his lifestyle, man, it's not for you in the first place. And it's completely beneath you. You understand? These are shrimp, pork, crab, pig, they put anything and everything in their mouth. God damn it. If the doggone white man lived in whatever part of China that the coronavirus originated from, the white man would have brought up coronavirus. Understand that. It ain't just it ain't just their fault. Understand that. Because the white man do just the same nasty things that they do. You understand? And promote it even heavier. You understand? Because the crazy thing is at least China doesn't sit there and say, well, we should have LGBTQ rights. You understand? We should all be gay and push that into their schools. It's very frowned upon down there. And I'll give them that benefit of the doubt. But guess who's doing that to your children here in America, though? In Canada, in the UK. Guess who is doing that? So-called white man. So with that being said, I mean, they could have. I find them just as guilty as the Chinaman, simply because of the fact that right now the so-called white man is in the seat of power, and he could have kept that from happening in the first place. And what I mean by that as well is when Israel comes into, when so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans go into power, when we go into the kingdom, you understand, there will be none of that. There will be consequences if you eating animals that you're not supposed to be eating. If you're doing things that goes against the law, there will be consequences. And mind you as well, like I said earlier, us Israelites, we ain't like, the so-called white man where you got to sit there and wait 18 months for a trial or 18 months for even an appointment. Nah, let us catch you being a homosexual in the kingdom. Oh, we caught you today? You ain't gonna finish out the rest of the day with your head on your shoulders. Or however we decide to take your life, because you know what? Doing that is death. That is a consequence for homosexuality. That is death. You understand? You committing adultery, you eating something that you ain't supposed to be eating, what have you, whatever the consequence is for when you offend whatever law that you offend, you will be dealt with when you are found out. You understand? It's kind of bugging me. There we go, Salakia. That's how we do it. You understand what I'm saying? But like I was saying, envy thou not the oppressor, because you know what? You are already above their ways and are above them in all ways, right? And choose none of his ways. Now, mind you, just off of what we've been talking about, what did that brother trooper, what way did that brother choose of the oppressor? See if you've been paying attention, or if anybody online, check the YouTube as well, if there's been anything so far. But give me just one way that brother in Virginia had chosen the way of an oppressor. And mind you, even though that he chose their way, I can't even say that because it's gonna give it away. No, you got the floor. Was there anything on YouTube? Okay, go ahead.
Join the military.
He joined the military. The white, whose military?
The white man.
The military. He joined Esau's military. Now, whether he did deploy or not, he's giving some sort of service to this country, correct?
Come.
So what did he get in return for his service to this country when he had to deal with the police? Because obviously, of all people, to give some sort of recognition, you would think that it's another entity in this country that also shares a uniform, right? Like kind of like how the police give some sort of recognition to the firefighters type thing, right?
Come.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they might have a little beef, and kind of like how the 4 branches of the military, they all have something to say about each other. Like I love, at my slavery, if I may, just real quick, there's this he actually a heathen. This heathen at my slavery, he was in the Marines and I was in the Army, and we kind of go back and forth, from time to time about like how I call him I always tell him how he eats crayons because he was in the Marines. Like, bro, you retarded. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's always something to say about somebody in the Air Force, man. I say they chair force keyboard warriors. You know what I'm saying? And the Navy, what I have to say about the Navy is inappropriate, so I'm gonna keep that to myself. But I'll leave you with this. The first rank when you go into the Navy, your rank is seaman. So, you know what I'm saying? For those with some maturity, sense, use your imagination. How we get on them. But anyways, as long as they don't get on us, so like. But. All right, chill.
That caught me off guard.
But so yeah, he's childish. But so that the police, they do the same thing, between the police force, the firefighters, EMT, what have you, any type of first responders, you understand? They have some sort of, I don't want to call it brotherly rivalry, but that's basically what it is, because essentially, they on the same side. They got the same objective, you understand? But with that being said, you would think that, that would transfer over to those that leave the land in their eyes, mind you, because like I said, I know the reality of the matter. We ain't really fighting for our doggone freedom. I'm not really fighting for you to have the right to say that blue lives matter. But you believe that. So even though that you believe that, you still have the audacity to come at that brother in Virginia just because ultimately what it comes down to in the ISPK, we gonna deal with the reality of things because he was a god dog black man or Latino. He was dark skinned. That's what it was. That was the issue. You understand? You Tawab? Yeah, let me get a little bit more. Oh, shot. You understand though? And it doesn't even matter what uniform that you put on. This verse right here, can apply to so many things. Choosing his ways to defend this country, choosing his ways of how to police the people in this country. You understand? Because mind you, there was I believe he was a Hispanic brother. I believe before, if my memory serves correctly, I might be wrong on this. I believe he was a military vet before he came. After he did his service, came back, went into joined the police force. Military part, not 100% sure, so don't hold me to that. But as far as what had happened with him being in the police force, this Hispanic brother started to realize after a time, how they was pushing him out to go and afflict his own people, and because of that, he ended up killing himself because he couldn't live with the guilt of what he was doing to his own people, how he was basically hunting his own people. Now, just real quick, with that being said, pull for me the book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 27, Baba Gashad.
Khan, the book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 27.
Okay.
And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter.
And Esau was a what?
A cunning hunter.
What does the word cunning mean? Can you tell me? You don't have to pull it. If you can remember, because you pulled it from me before, if you can remember what it means, we'll move forward.
Something with
okay, you unsure. So look it up. You too unsure. Look it up.
Pretty sure it has deceivable in it, like some deceivable.
Okay, if you pretty sure, let's be sure. Yeah. You understand? Let's be sure. That's what we do in the ISUPK. Because you know what? If I may, while you looking that up, I'm sure that you was sure when you stood up for that, doggone Hebrew Academy candidate to be a Hebrew Academy candidate, right?
Con. We there.
Most High Christ.
For no reason.
Hey, that's right. Go ahead and read that definition when you got it, Baba Bashad.
Cunning, having or showing skill in achieving one's ends by deceit or evasion.
By deceit or evasion. Now, how would you put that definition, that word cunning, with how does that word cunning apply to that story I just gave you about that Hispanic brother that killed himself because of him, hunting his own people? That's essentially what these police officers are. They're just hunters, right? Hunting the poor, hunting the footsteps of the poor. You understand? How does that word cunning apply to him?
Because the white man made him believe that those people were bad. Like they actually did something, so they made him go out and actually, go out and hunt them, kind of thing. That's the only thing I can come up with.
No, I mean that's pretty much it. Because what did that definition say again?
Having or showing skill in achieving one's ends by deceit or evasion.
By deceit. He was, like you said, made him believe that his own people were that bad. They deceived him. They deceived him to go and kill his own people. Now, mind you, you can go and hunt. You can hunt for something indirectly. You understand? Like, if you go out through history, I ain't that much of a history buff, but you know what? If y'all want to challenge me, I'll pull some names for y'all next class. Just, you know, put it in the chat. But make sure you're watching the YouTube chat as well, Bubba Shad. But you know, one way that, you know, those, you know, big game hunters, one way that they did it was they would have a hunting party, and amongst that hunting party, they had a, you know, like the big boss type thing, right? And a lot of times that the big boss, so to speak, he wasn't called the big boss, but that's essentially what he was. He would have people go and, you know, hunt game. And, you know, when somebody would go and shoot and kill some we'll say record-sized elephant, record-sized giraffe, it don't even matter what, lion, tigers, and bears on mine, they just kill everything. You understand? When they would go and kill them, they would bring it back and give it to him. And he would, I killed this. You understand? So there is an indirect way of hunting. He sent out people to go and do these things. And of course, they get a little small, itty bitty credit, like kind of how you know, like how Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. But who really invented the light bulb? Do you know, Trooper?
I want to say his name started with.
Look it up. Look it up. Look it up. I'll tell you this much. It's a black man. So if you pull it up, it's a white dude that come up, you're wrong. You could I think a faster way to find it is putting in who helped Thomas Edison invent the light bulb. Because it was actually one of his assistants who did it, who actually did it.
His name was Humphrey Davy.
Humphrey Davy? And that's a black man, right?
Khan.
He invented that little, what is it called? The filament. I think that's what it's called, filament. The little thing that actually lights up in the light bulb. That's what he actually, you know, that's what he said his name was Henry?
Humphrey Davy.
Oh, Humphrey Davy. You know, he invented that portion into the light bulbs that we still use today. You understand? But who got the credit? Thomas Edison. But who did the work?
Humphrey Davy.
But what was the objective in an analogy between the two? The analogy is, you know, as a hunter sending out a hunting party for him to not do the work, sending out his hunting party to go and get him a trophy. Well, this is Thomas Edison saying, hey man, put in this work for me to kill, you know, to not kill, but yeah, to kill this rhino, to help me invent this light bulb. It's the same exact thing. You understand? Esau is a cunning hunter. He is so cunning that he will deceive the other people to kill, for us to kill ourselves. And now, mind you, Esau's not only doing that to just us. It's just because we are, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are so lost, we are the primary victims. But because the other nations have held on to a love of themselves and actually have some sort of unity, have some sort of brotherhood amongst themselves, it doesn't plague them as much. Only very small sects of each, are very small sectors, Salakia, are plagued by, Esau, the so-called white man, the oppressor, um, turning, a nation against themselves because they have a whole lot of foundation that they can still come down on. You understand? To help preserve themselves, because white man is involved in the wars in the Middle East, and even the gang wars in China. The so-called white man is involved in. But like I said, they only plague us even more. They plague us more than anybody else. Because the thing is at least some of those gangs in China, it takes a whole lot of craftiness to actually infiltrate that, time and craftiness. Whereas with us, I mean, hell, you can just have one little one brother you come across. Hey man, I can set you up for life. You ever seen this much money before? Simply do this. We'll protect you. Mind you, the brother ended up getting killed anyways, which was part of it anyways, because now the real story will never get out. Yet, do you have something? Okay. The real story will never get out on, what actually happened. But now that just created a gang war in itself. That is a cunning hunter. That is one hell of a hunter. And that's exactly what Esau is. You understand? Is that it on that article?
I mean, most of it, yeah, the important parts.
Reread. Go ahead and read on. I'll let you know if we drop that and go to the next one.
Okay. Wavy sister station in New York City was there as the Brooklyn Borough president honored Nazario with a special proclamation this week. Surrounded by family, he said he couldn't say much due to his ongoing lawsuit. The two Windsor police officers involved, but said it's been a challenging time for him and his family. Nazario grew up in Brooklyn. We've seen an outpouring of love and support from around the world, so I would like to say thank you to my home community.
Okay. Yes, I like it. Go ahead and go to the next one. I don't mean to cut him off like right there when he's going through thank you and everything. Like it ain't like that. But we are so like it. It's only like that because I am trying to teach a class. You understand? What we trying to teach right now is to our people why we should even separate in the first place. You understand? And I mean, if I may, them thank yous to certain people he may or may not say thank you to. See, I knew it was over there. Is gonna further even damage us in our in the current condition that we're in. Go ahead and read that next article though, Baba Kashat.
Come on. Title is the unarmed man on the phone with 911 shot by Virginia deputy who gave him a ride home.
What? Where is this? In Virginia?
Come on.
I mean, I thought we abolished, the hatred of racism. I thought racism was dead, particularly in the South. Slovakia. Go ahead, Sid.
So did that say that he got shot by the police that was giving him a ride?
Come on.
Hold on. Read it from the top.
Unarmed man on phone.
Hold on. Read that again.
unarmed man.
Read that one more time.
Unarmed man.
Go ahead.
On phone with 911 shot by Virginia deputy who gave him a ride home.
Go ahead.
A Virginia deputy shot an unarmed black man who had given a ride home to earlier while the man was on the phone with 911 dispatcher.
Hold on. A police officer. Mind you, what the title just said, and what we read in just the very first line, the title said a deputy officer shot an unarmed man, and this that he gave a ride to. And the first line says that he was shot and killed while he was on the phone with the police. You got killed by the police while you called the police, and y'all want to sit here and just ignore these classes that we've been having to try to tell you to allow the Brotherhood and the ISUPK under Commandant General Yohana for us to let y'all know that we have a solution to. Y'all want to fight and resist the solution that we have for y'all, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You understand? Y'all want to fight our solutions to your problems. You want to fight that and call the people that when you are on the phone with them will also kill you while you on the phone with them. It's like I need a moment my damn self. Like I can't wrap my mind around that. I can't, I don't understand. I mean, you know what? I do kind of understand. It hurts me just that much that our people are that destroyed. That's how destroyed our people are. This right here, stories like this is exactly why everybody needs to make sure that they like and share these doggone videos and spread out these videos. It doesn't matter. And when I say, anytime that I say like and share this video, always remember any time that you watch an ISUPK video, you always have that voice in your head. Make sure I like and share this video so that it can spread out to the four corners of the earth. So that my Israelite brothers and sisters, my so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American brothers and sisters have an opportunity to get away from people who hate you so much that you can get you get a ride from the people that end up killing you while you on the phone with them. You're on the phone with a police dispatcher and the deputy kills you. Now, Salaki, if I may, I don't even need to hear the rest of the story. We will continue to read the article. But do y'all just hear how goofy and silly and just for us not to be able to understand how much these people hate us, how much these people want nothing to do with us. I could only imagine, you know, how, and I ain't trying to sound Christian or anything, but while Christ is, you know, fighting for each and every one of us to, you know, have the opportunity to stop doing whatever the hell that we doing. And the Most High is, you know, sitting there watching over it, just like, you know, waiting for the time to just send Yahweh Shai. Like, I can only imagine how they actually feel when it's just, you know, they sitting here watching all this foolery. Where you can literally be on the phone with the person that you think is going to save you, that you fight so doggone much to love you. And technically, that same exact entity, that same exact God, if you will, because that's damn near, the pedestal that you put our oppressors on, kills you. So while you sitting there praying to, and Egyptologists be playing, they pray to do they pray to Anubis? I don't know. Talking to Anubis and Ishtar, Easter. So y'all do Easter. So you worshiping Easter and all this, that, and the other. Easter killing you. You say Easter, give me some fertility, because that's the goddess of fertility in Egyptology. Easter, I've been trying for 5 years to get pregnant. Can you bless me with some fertility? And Easter says, nah, bitch, you did. That's literally what we going through right now. It's lucky for my language, but that's what we going through right now. You going to somebody, you asking to somebody, you praying to somebody, pleading with somebody to bless you with something as small as compassion and understanding. Because what is that, BLM was fighting for? Equality. At the end of the day, was just equality. Yeah, protest was about police brutality. But at the end of the day, they wanted police brutality to stop, so that police start to treat black men the same way that they start treating black men the way that they treat so-called white men. That's what that boiled down to. Because it wasn't like BLM was out there rioting for justice, for real justice. Because if the people who supported BLM was actually about getting real justice, you wouldn't have celebrated when what's his name? Devin Chauvin. Darren is what?
I think it's Devin Chauvin.
Devin Chauvin, the devil that had killed George Floyd. If he was really about justice, you wouldn't have celebrated over the fact that he got prison time. Who can tell me what justice would have been? Sis. Life for a life, right? That's justice. Matter of fact, just really quick, pull for me he that leadeth into captivity. Pull that for me. It's a Revelation. I think it's 13:10. I might be wrong. I'm probably wrong, but I believe it's in that sector.
Khan. The book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Hold up. Say that one more time.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
So if you lead somebody into captivity, you're going to go to captivity. But mind you, with this verse, there's a theme to it. Go ahead.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
But he that killeth with the sword shall be killed by the sword. What is the theme in that verse? Before I actually want to answer, read the rest of it.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
What's the theme? Who can tell me what the theme of that verse is? Read it from the top one more time.
The book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Right.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
What's the theme? What's the theme with that? What's the theme of that verse? Nobody can tell me? Nobody really wants to take this. Go ahead and at least take a crack at it. Describe the word the best you can.
Like what was gonna happen? The prophecy? Prophesied? I don't know. Something along the lines. That's like
This is a prophecy. Yes, this is a prophecy. But what's the theme of the prophecy though?
the destruction.
No. Okay. Read the last line. Start from here is the patience. Read that real quick.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Okay. So this is the patience and the faith of the saints. What exactly is their patience? Okay, so what exactly is their faith? Because obviously they have faith, they have patience for something. That their faith is going to lead them to what? They have patience in their faith, that their faith and patience will lead them to what? Go.
Salvation?
No. I mean, in time, yes, it will be salvation. Go ahead.
I was gonna say vengeance.
I want to say vengeance. All right, how about this? We got anything on YouTube before I get this hint?
Law.
Okay. Go ahead, Sid.
Justice.
Okay, in one word, justice is perfect. That I will take that. Justice is the theme. Why justice though? How is justice the theme for this? Hold on. Do you think you know?
Because that's what's gonna happen to them for doing what they've done to us.
Yeah, this is the hand. That's exactly what it is. Because it's only right because I took you into Salaki. I led you into captivity. You should lead me into captivity. Because I slain you with the sword. You should slay me with the sword. Because I sat there and sat on your neck for 9 minutes and 10 minutes, god damn it, and took your life. It's only right that we take yours. Hell, I mean, if it was up to me, I would do the exact same thing right back to him. If I was George Floyd, man, just do the same thing back to him. Till he did. So he can know, he can feel my pain. But you know what? If I may, I'm not going to have none of that in the kingdom. The Lord blesses me with power in the kingdom. Some of the things that they done to our ancestors, our brothers and sisters, our forefathers during the slave trade. Take, for example, a runaway slave. You know, they would brand us with an R, on the face to signify that they was a runaway slave, and of course beat and whip them. Nah, that ain't enough for me. You know what I'm gonna do? My runaway slaves. You want to know how you know one of my slaves attempted to run away? I'm gonna shave to the bone the bottom of their feet. And then on top of that, they're going to work overtime on the field. And then not allowed to stay in one spot. You know what they're going to do? In each lane, walk up and down every single lane to clear out everybody's cotton bags. That's what they're going to do every day. That's going to be their job. Walking on bone. Shave down to the bone, the bottom of their feet, because you wanted to run away. Oh, and please don't stop. Please don't stop. No, matter of fact, no, I encourage it. Because you know what I'm going to do? In front of everybody at that, because it will be shaven. The bottom of your feet will be shaven slowly It ain't gonna be no quick cut. Slowly, layer after layer, until we hit the bone. As thin as a razor is, matter of fact, let me get something that's as thin as piano wire. As thin as that is, layer by layer. I'm gonna come up with a machine that's basically, You outside? All right, no sweat. Go ahead. I'm gonna come up with a machine that's designed specifically for that. To shave the bottom of your foot layer by layer. You just gotta run it through by the foot. And layer by layer, it's gonna shave off your foot. Once it touches bone, it'll stop. Because I don't want to shave the bone. I want your skin to grow back. I want the skin to come back. Because mind you as well, those with the bottom of your feet with them doggone scars, it's gonna be their responsibility once that skin comes back with that callus and the scar and everything. They're gonna be the ones who have to, make sure that nobody runs away. Because every time that somebody does run away or tries to run away and gets outside the perimeter, outside my land, guess what? It ain't just the runaway that's gonna get it. The entire doggone crew that was on duty, they get it as well. And that's always gonna be their reminder. I need to make sure none of these doggone, Edomites don't get off Master's land. You doggone all right. Because I'm gonna shave the bottom of your feet down to the bone. And then walk up and down, picking the cotton, collecting the cotton, collecting whatever it is I'm growing. So I like it. Hey, mom, what we gonna be growing? What we gonna be growing on our land? We gonna have crops? You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I should make them walk all the way through shoveling the doggone the swine's feces so it gets infected as well. It get infected enough, we gotta cut them off. Now I gotta cut your feet off. I can't. I mean, you worth money to me. I can't have you dying. I still need you to work because I will work you to death. And you know why that's righteous? Who can tell me why that's righteous? Who could tell me why there's nothing wrong with me saying what I just said? Who could tell me why that I am in my right mind to want to do this to my slave sis? Because they did it to my doggone ancestors. We only know so much of what they did to us. Was it put into your school system what they did to I wanted to say Tamir Rice for some reason. What's that brother? Emmett Till. Was it Emmett Till? What's his name? Emmett Till? No, I might be thinking of the wrong, but because he was early 1900s, wasn't it? Do you know who I'm talking about?
You're not talking about the one where the woman claimed she was.
No, was that Emmett Till?
Yeah.
Okay, what was his name? Nat Turner. That's what it was. That's the brother. Y'all know what they did to Nat Turner? Go ahead.
Is that the brother that got executed, or?
Oh yeah, he got executed for sure. But do y'all know what they did to this brother? Go ahead.
Electric chair.
No, that was Emmett Till. That was a 14. I believe he was a 14-year-old boy who was falsely accused of whistling at a white woman, catcalling at a white woman, and got put on the electric chair. That was Emmett Till. That's Emmett Till. Oh, and don't you whistle at none of my wives. Don't you even give none of my wives the opportunity to even second guess. Was he catcalling at me? Was he whistling at me? Was he looking at me in a sexual way? Oh, I'm not gonna get on that without what I'm gonna do. But with Nat Turner, Y'all know what he did? What they did to him? Not only did they hang him, not only did they castrate him, not only did they skin him, but today, to this day, did you know that you can buy his skin? Because it's shoes, a belt, and a purse. That's what Nat Turner's skin is today. And you can buy him. So if there's anybody that's watching that says what I just said ain't right, it's not righteous, that's not justice. I mean, I ain't say I was gonna kill him. Hell, I even just said that I was gonna get my money's worth. Read that again. Revelation 13, 13 and 10. Very first part. Read that one more time for me, real quick.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
So you brought my forefathers into captivity. It's only right that I put your sons and daughters into captivity. I put you into captivity, right? That's justice, right? Not only that, but hold on. What book that come out of? What are we reading right now? What book is this?
The book of Revelation.
No. What book are you reading from?
The Holy Bible.
This is the King James 1611 Bible. In Revelation chapter 13, verse 10, it says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So, me sitting there saying that, those that put my forefathers into slavery, I'm going to put your grandbabies into slavery. And then that second verse, he that killeth, read the second verse so that we can actually get verbatim.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
So even if I was going to kill one of them slaves by, him working with no bottom of his feet in the swine pen and all that swine dookie with all that diseases just festering up into his feet, just letting him die a slow death by that disease. I'd be righteous in that. That's not a sword to your simple mind. But you know what is a sword today? Just to put y'all on game, that is actually a sword. That disease is a sword. Coronavirus is a sword. Anything that kills you, and especially in an act of warfare, smallpox, that's a sword. That was done to my Gadite brothers and sisters, forefathers. Diseases. You plagued my brothers and sisters, my Gadite brothers and sisters. You did this to my brothers and sisters. Isn't it only right that I do that to y'all? Right? That's justice, right?
That's right.
Oh yeah. Now I got a couple games that I want to play. In the game we call fuck game. I ain't saying it all the way, but yeah, we call them fuck. They fuck games, and I got a whole lot of them. Oh, best believe. And you know what? It's righteous, and it's not like I just sit there and think about it just to be like, oh, like Hitler and his crew. They're just like, let's just experiment. No, I come up with these types of things because I'm that angry. Because you know what? I'd be doggone down if that happens to my brother today. And that's my blood brother today. With Barakatha Yahweh Shai, he here in the truth, that's Trooper Shaquat Gabar. Most High in Christ, I was, that the brother, I was able to come into this truth and follow me in. But also that goes to, my brother Officer Shabal, my brother Officer Bakar, my brother Officer Yawasab. You understand? all my brothers under the same banner of the ISUPK. What happens to any of them? I be down. No, I want my vengeance. I want justice. You understand? And that also goes for what's going on to Tamir Rice, Emmett Till. What was the name of the brother in the military brother in Virginia? What was his name?
Karen Nazario.
Karen Nazario. I want vengeance for that. They didn't take his life, but I still want justice for how he was mistreated. And you know what? One way that I'm gonna do it in the kingdom, Lord allow, anytime I see a white boy on the street, period, stop and frisk. Stop and frisk. And Lord allow, I have many sons. Oh yeah, we stop and frisk him. Oh wait, hold on. He's got a shoe. Shoot his ass. Kill his ass. Kill him. Kill him. And it's gonna be righteous. And it's gonna be righteous.
That's right.
Because this is what they do to us. Y'all understand? All right, go ahead and read on with that article. Salaki. I know I kind of got a little off with it, but go ahead.
Ready for this next part now. Isaiah Brown, 32, was shot 10 times Wednesday while he was on the phone with a 911 dispatcher by a deputy who had just given him a ride home. Brown was taken to a hospital where he is fighting for his life. Attorneys representing him said NBC News reported Isaiah was on the phone with 911 at the time of the shooting, and the officer mistook cordless house phone for a gun. Ryan Jewison, a spokesperson for the Cochrane firm, said in a statement, "There is no indication that Isaiah did anything other than comply with dispatcher's orders and raise his hands on the phone with the phone in his hand as instructed."
Okay, so hold on. Now the dispatchers, let it be known, the dispatchers said that they weren't even there, right? They know that he followed instructions. This brother followed instructions, and now mind you, I'm gonna grab my phone and put his hands in the air. So most likely, it was either like this or like this. Should we turn off a light? Just maybe see? No. Should we turn off a light to see if maybe my phone will transform and look like a gun? Because my question is how is it that like this? Are you on the phone? I deserve 10 rounds in my body to take my life because you thought I had a gun. How did you mistake this as a gun? Mistake this as a gun. And chances are, if that phone was up in the air, I mean, at the most, we're right here. But I'm pretty sure that phone was on speaker. So if it's on speaker, who knows that it's a phone? Who knows? Go ahead.
I was going to say that the white man get that, obviously that white man vision. They see what they want to see, not what they actually see.
Just go back to what you had said, because you are right. A what? A what kind of threat?
A definite threat.
That's all he thought. That's all he saw. All he saw was a definite threat. You understand? And this is what we dealing with. You understand? Um, go ahead and read on from there.
Slovenia Country Sheriff's Office released body camera footage of the shooting Friday. The deputy's name has not been released. Brown's car had broken down at a gas station several miles from his home. He got a ride home from a deputy around 2:30 a.m. Shortly later, Brown got into an argument with his brother. Brown called 911 after his brother refused to let him into their mother's house so he can get his car keys and go home. It was classified as a domestic disturbance call for responding deputies. Brown threatened to kill his brother while on the phone with dispatchers. However, in the call, Brown tells the dispatcher that he is not armed. Do you have any weapons on you? The dispatcher asks. No, Brown replies. The dispatcher also seemed familiar with Brown from the earlier incident with his car. Your car is broken down, so why do you need your keys? The dispatcher asks. The deputy who responds around 3:19 a.m. is the same who had given Brown a ride at 2:30 a.m. He believes the phone Brown is holding is a gun.
Now hold on. So how do we go from hold on. So this officer just had us essentially just trusted this brother to get in his car. And that was it, right? Saw that he was all broken down. Saw this brother's vehicle was broken down, right? And just said, all right, hey, go ahead and hop in the back of the car. Now, this is a black man, right? And then on top of that, the next encounter that the deputy had, he just treated him as if it was an armed suspect threatening his life, right? So my thing is did the deputy just trust him to get in the car in the first place without doing a quick little search to find out if he even had a weapon on him in the first place? Then secondly, when they got to the doggone, whatever destination it was, and dude was threatening his brother, whatever, why did he even question the fact that he had a weapon? I mean, you trusted him to get in your vehicle and you came out alive. And then, okay, sure. Did he himself hear that, he wanted to kill his brother? All right, sure. He wants to kill his brother. So just think about it. Whether you young or old, how many times people say, I'm going to kill you? Is that just warrant for, okay, you know what? We just need to take this nigga out. It's a done deal. He said he wants to kill somebody. That's it. Your life gone. The Lord's gonna judge you. That warrants for it. That warrants for it. And then to even take it to the step of, well, I mistook his phone for a gun. Now let's go back to what I had just said a few steps ago, though. I mean, you really think he just got in the car and then say, "Hey, man, let me check you real quick. Make sure you ain't got no weapons, just for my protection. I have to get home. This that, and the other." You understand? Like y'all get what I'm trying to, like I said earlier, the picture that I'm trying to paint. You know what I'm saying? Let's not look at just the man in the picture, but the picture with the man in it. I'm trying to add some color to it. You understand? I'm trying to broaden it so that you're not just focused at the man in the picture in the first place. But now you get to see a whole lot more. You understand what I'm saying? So go ahead and read on.
Show me your hands, the deputy shouts. Show me your hands. Show me your hands now. Show me your hands. Drop the gun. He's got a gun to his head. Drop the gun now. Stop walking towards me. Stop walking towards me. Stop. Stop. He then opens fire before rendering life-saving first aid. Sheriff Roger Harris said another deputy arrived and asked where the gun is.
Okay, so stop right there. So he said he got a gun to his head. So that tells you right there, because we kind of talked about it just a few moments ago. It's probably like this. Speaker at most, if he's like this, or he's like this. So he got the phone to his head. So now this is my question. Why would you shoot someone who could be who's trying to threaten their own life? I'm gonna kill him, police dispatcher. Put your hands up. I got my hands up. Police dispatcher, I got my hands up. He's got a gun. I don't have a gun. And then you open fire on me. How does that make sense? So when you send the police, and this is the thing as well, you really gonna, after a story like this, you're gonna call the police and say, oh, my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, my cousin, whomever is locked themselves up in their room and have told me that they have a gun to their head and they contemplating killing themselves right now. They're in the bathroom contemplating killing themselves right now. Please send help. Why would I call for you to send help when y'all sit there and say, oh, I thought he had a gun to his own head, and so I shot his ass 10 times. I put 10 rounds into him because he was trying to kill himself. You know how stupid that is? You know what's just as stupid as that? The fact that we can actually get these people to, love and have compassion for us. That they'll treat us any differently than they already have. Because you know what that story tells me off the rip? It's off the rip, and let me see, what do y'all think? What does that say to y'all off the rip? He thought the brother had a gun to his head and put 10 rounds into him. Not shot 10 times. You said, matter of fact, let's just clarify and be sure. What did it say? Did he shot 10 times or he shot him 10 times?
Oh, no, he shot him 10 times.
No, read it.
Was shot 10 times.
Shot him 10 times. And for all we know, I thought he was about to kill himself. So, I look, pop, 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 pop. Like, come on, man. So what goes through y'all heads? What goes through y'all minds with a situation like that? I want to hear the both of y'all's voices. I want to hear all y'all voices, especially y'all online. Like, I want to know what y'all think. Like, so like you. What do you? Go ahead, sis.
The first thing that comes to my mind is, how do I expect you to protect and serve me and you can't even protect somebody if you thought they were endangering themselves? That doesn't make any sense.
Where is the protecting and serving in the first place? Let's start from there. Now, what you said was true. It was heavy. But if you're supposed to protect, if I'm trying to kill myself, what are you protecting me from? What are you supposed to protect me from? I'm asking you.
Myself?
Right. You're supposed to be protecting me from myself. So protecting me from myself requires, you know what? You did your goddamn job. Salakia. Let me take all that back. You did your job. You protected me from myself, because now it's not on my own blood is not on my hands. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Officer. I didn't have to kill myself. You killed me for me. And instead of dumping one in my head, there's an off chance that I would have dumped around in my head and I would have survived. Thank you for showing up to put 10 in me. What do you think, Trooper? What comes to your mind with a story like this?
Like you were saying earlier, how do you mistake a phone for a gun? And that, like, you're listening to him call the person, whoever he was calling, hearing the phone ring. There's no way you're not hearing it ring.
No, he called them now.
No, I'm talking
It's not
about
on speaker. We don't know if it's actually on speaker, so keep that in mind. But go ahead. I understand what you're saying.
But even if it's not on speaker or not, you could still hear it ring.
Mm-hmm.
There's been multiple times where you or whoever else was around me, you were calling and it was quiet enough, and I was able to hear it ring. Like they're not conversating between that.
Right.
So if you can't hear that, like, you obviously just don't care for him. You want him to die. Like you just trying to find an excuse. Really honest, you were trying to find an excuse to kill him.
No, I can't even argue with that. But you know what? How about we go to see what the Bible also says as well. We go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. We read Lamentations 4 and 18, correct?
Lie.
Oh, we didn't? Okay.
And this is 4 and 18. You want to go to Deuteronomy?
Hold on, let me go back to Lamentations really quick, like. Hold on. Yeah, let's hit Lamentations first. Lamentations 4 and 18. We'll hit that one first. You know, hit on that right quick, and then we'll go over to Deuteronomy 28 and 68 or 66. Like.
Lamentations in the New Testament?
Lamentations is right before Ezekiel. It's in the Old Testament. Before Ezekiel, after Jeremiah. While we're waiting for the brother to find his place, for those of y'all that are watching, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying, on YouTube. Like and share, subscribe to ISUPK Nevada, and then also for those to get on Facebook as well, ISUPK Las Vegas. Like, share the video, but also like the ISUPK Las Vegas YouTube page. Mind you as well, we're coming out with a whole lot more new content. I believe it's May 8th. You know, we about to have our first whatchamacallit, our first camp speaker for Las Vegas.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Give it up for the Lord. Give it up for Las Vegas coming up and building. You understand? We coming up, you know what I'm saying? And you know, we got a whole lot more content that's about to come out. You understand? So make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Hit that little bell button as well for if you are on YouTube, so that anytime that, you know, a new video comes out or even a live stream, anything of that nature, you know, you get that notification so you can be up to date and stay tuned for any new news or any new content that comes out. You understand? For, you know, because ISUPK in general, like, we all watchmen. You understand? Like, this is what we signed up to do, is to pay attention to what's going on in the times, to warn our people so that essentially they can come away from, you know, get out of the affliction that is being put down on us. You understand? Go ahead and read that if you got it.
Khan, the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 18. They hunt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come.
man, they hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets. First and foremost, you know, look at our, the places of which our people dwell by the majority. And police up and down the streets all the doggone time. All the doggone time to find just an excuse. And it's that I was actually just talking to a brother today at the slavery, and he was telling me that they had just did a roundup, off of Owens and what's that? Owens and damn, I can't think of that other street, but it's basically where we got a bunch of the homeless brothers and sisters, like down there. They did a roundup down there because our crime rate's gone down so much. They needed funding. They needed to start locking people up again. You understand? They hunting in our streets just to find us. You understand? Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled. For our end is come. Like that's just their mindset type thing. You understand? Um, them, but my primary focus on Lamentations 4:18 is think about it. Like that the was it said it was a deputy. Deputy was kind enough to pick up the brother, take him home, help him out. But let's go back to where we started in the very beginning of class. The book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 27, that he is a cunning hunter. And he used his cunning. The definition of cunning is part of the definition of cunning is, to meet one's end by deceit. Somebody met their end, and there was deceit in the midst of that. Because although he was, oh yeah, I give you a ride, and whoop, take you home. He gets on the phone, and then all of a sudden drop the gun. He's got a gun to his head, like 10 rounds, boom. Come on. You got a question? Come on, bring it out.
I was just gonna say, the funny thing about it all is that you were nice enough to give this guy a ride, but you weren't nice enough to just spare his life. Like, I just don't get that part of it.
Hit me one more time. Not just a little bit. No, but see, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. That's where the deceit is. You know what? Before we even hit Deuteronomy 28:68, we'll end it on Deuteronomy 28:68. We'll go to yeah, not too much. Yeah, that's too lot. Oh god. Yeah, too lot. That's what. Look up for me. The words are smoother than butter. Pull that for me. Should be there's I believe it is in a Proverbs or in Psalms. I believe it's Proverbs, but their words are smoother than butter, but in their hearts swords are drawn. I believe that might be it verbatim. But let's go ahead and get it, let's confirm that. You understand?
Khan, the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21.
55, okay.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
So I mean that in itself, that lets you know that like, oh yeah, I'll give you a ride. It's that and the other. Takes him home. But the first opportunity he got, he killed his ass. What's another? Who can tell me another a grander, bigger, mucho instance where it was the same thing. Words smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. They gone, don't look at the man in the picture. Look at the picture with the man in it. Because it was on a scale like that. Because right now, with that instance right there, that could be the man in the picture. Just them two. That was just one instance. That's a hiccup. But you can go back in history to get a grand picture with that same atrocity that just happened to that brother. What's that brother's name that we're reading about right now? Salaki. What's his name?
Isaiah Brown.
Isaiah Brown. What happened to Isaiah Brown? That's the picture with the man in it. But the picture with the picture with the man is the answer I'm looking for. No, what you think? Go ahead. Don't be afraid.
I was gonna say, like in the book of Genesis, how says the serpent was talking to Eve and was telling them.
No.
Okay.
No. Is Officer Bakar here?
Yeah, but I don't. He's with his kid and wife.
All right, that's right. Nothing? Nothing? Just stay focused on the 12 tribes. Sis.
I would say like when the white man came and tried helping like our Gadite brothers and sisters and everyone had killed them all.
This is their hand. That's what I was looking for. They said they showed up. Hey man, we'll show you our technology. We'll give you some of this, some of that. Just show us how to live on your land. Show us how to get down. Then it pressed a little bit further to, okay, let's exchange territories. I'll give you a little bit of this. I'll give you a little bit of that. Go ahead.
Saying how they gave them guns, knowing that they didn't know how to operate the guns, took away what they did know how to use. And then when they did come, they weren't able to use any of the guns anyways. They didn't know how to operate them like white man did.
It wasn't necessarily It wasn't necessarily to give them weapons they didn't know how to operate, but the point of giving them those weapons was so that they can help them. Again, going right back to what we was talking about earlier with the Hispanic brother who joined the police force. And he killed himself because he was deceived into killing his own people. The white man deceived our Gadite brothers to kill their own people. Because there's always been rivalries within Israel, right? So because of that, especially at that time, it was bloodshed rivalries. Even with our Gadite brothers, our Gadites, y'all know. Do y'all know what Gad means in Hebrew? Not in Hebrew, but y'all know what Gad means? It means a true. Our Native Americans are some lucky, but they some doggone fucking war. They some warriors. Think about it. They were scalping niggas as not necessarily just a trophy, but also because it was that's a warning to like, yo, quit messing with them. When you come and grab your dead, understand, we taking the tops of their head. That's to inflict fear. And only a warrior, a man of war. Who's the man of war? Who's the grandest man? Who is the top man of war? Can anybody tell me? You owe me 500 push-ups if you cannot tell me. Who?
Are you saying a specific person or are you saying tribe?
I'm saying a specific individual.
Yahushua.
No, he is. But who in the Bible does it say is a man of war? If the sister says it before you, 500 push-ups. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Go ahead. Look it up.
The Most High?
It's the Most High. The Most High is a man of war. Yeah.
I should have known.
The Most High is a man of war. And Gadites, man, they own they stuff when it comes to warfare. Because part of warfare is inflicting fear. The Most High is a man of fear, or a man of war. These diseases that's coming up, coronavirus, what came out of coronavirus? Stay on topic. Listen to what I had. Pay attention. Keep in mind what I just said. What came out of coronavirus? Okay, when the Gadites were scalping brothers and sisters, hold on. It's like when the Gadites were scalping the Europeans in war, what did that do? I just told y'all.
Inflict fear.
It inflicted fear. What did coronavirus do?
Inflict fear.
It inflicted fear. War has been going on this earth. We've just gotten to the point in stage where the Most High is becoming more involved. And that's why things like the coronavirus is coming up to further inflict that fear. Because the Most High is about to make everybody else bow down. But first, and this is the best part about it, in my opinion. But first, he wants all the other nations to build themselves up first. They big and proud. And just like, you know what? I conquered. We got through the coronavirus. We got through this virus, that virus. We got through this. We got through that. We cured this. We found a vaccine for that. Wooty, wooty, woo. And then the Most High says, hold on. You're going to open up his book. You know, the book, the doggone, you know, that the angels is keeping. You know, Commander John Yohana is keeping. Put the two together. Oh, hold on. I got my number. I got the report that I needed. Book of Life is closed. In that shit. Destroy all of them. Bring me what is mine. But everything else is gone. Glass it. Kill it. It's done. We're going to restart. And when we restart, that 1/3 with 144,000 is within the 1/3, mind y'all. That 144,000 is going to govern that 1/3. And that 144,000 is also going to govern the entire earth. You understand that? And to wrap it all up, ultimately it all comes down to the fact that there was brotherhood involved in that. You understand? And only brotherhood is going to preserve you, not only from the destruction that's going to come from our oppressors, but also the destruction that the Most High is going to put on this earth in the first place. And y'all got to understand that. You got to recognize that. And the only way that you can get away from that destruction is as simple as a left hand and a right hand. You want me to hold you with my left hand? Where my left hand gonna destroy your ass. But my right hand, I'm gonna hold you. I'm gonna protect you. The Lord might be right-handed. Who knows? If you ask me, that's what it sounds like. Because if I was trying to protect one of mine, I'll protect you with my right hand. Get behind my right wing. Get on my right hand. I can just simply just push you aside and then cold clock your ass. Cold clock anybody that goes against you. You understand? But that left hand, I'm grabbing you. So when I push, I push everybody that I'm protected, I can just come forward with my right and bring that left hand in and just cold clock the hell out of your ass. You understand? But that's what we dealing with. Be on one, it's one or the other. There is no in between. We have two hands for a reason. There is no in between. You understand? And with that, you understand, I'm Officer 50 Rock. This is the ISUPK Las Vegas Tuesday Brotherhood class. You understand? Under the one and only Commander General Johanna. And with that, class dismissed. Brotherhood.